Hey lovely people, welcome back once again to another episode of Stitches with Collection. I'm Miss Stitches. Today I'm going to share with you how to make this colorful and easy handmade beaded butterfly bag. Before we start, make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button. Let's get started. Materials needed. To begin, you cut your fish line. You make sure it's long enough. And we are using 0.7. So you make sure you have the ends. Then you pick 4 beads. You can fix 3 on any side of the fish line, being it the left or the right side. And then you cross with the last one, which is the 4th bead. And then we have our first ring. Then you go on and pick 3 beads. Fix 1 on the left side, fix 1 on the right fish line. Then you cross with the 3rd one. You make sure your fish line is has equal length. And then we have our second ring. So you go on by picking 3 beads again, fix 1 on the left, fix 1 on the right fish line, as you can see. Then you cross with the 3rd bead. Then we have our 3rd ring. So this is how you should weave on. So we are going to weave about 9 rings. So we have it now. And then when you get to the 9th bead, we need to turn. So you pick 2 beads, fix 2 on the left fish line, as you can see. Then you cross with the last one. So you pick 3 beads, fix 2 on the left fish line, then you cross with the 3rd bead. So we'll be able to turn and weave to the other end. So as you can see, the fish line has turned for us to weave to the other end, and we have 9 beads. So we are weaving to the other side. So to turn complete, you pick 3 beads again, fix 2 on the left fish line, and then you cross with the last bead, which is the 3rd bead. So it turns complete for us to weave. Then you go through the next bead. Pick 2 beads, fix 1 on the left fish line, then you cross with the last one. Then you go through the next bead here. So after you pick 2 beads, fix both bead on the left fish line. Then using the left fish line, you cross or you go through this bead here, the bead I'm going through. The bead you have the right fish line in. So you go through that bead, as you can see. Then you pass the fish line, both fish line, through to this bead here. I mean to the 2nd bead. Okay, so we now have both fish lines through the 2nd bead here. Then you go on and pick 3 beads again, fix 2 on the left fish line, then this time you cross with the 3rd one. So we've started another step, but on the same line. So you go through the next bead, pick 2 beads again, fix 1 on the left fish line, then you cross with the last one. So you go through the next bead, do same, fix 2 beads on the left fish line, then you cross with the last one, then you go through the next one, then you pick 2 beads, fix both beads on the left fish line, then this time again using the left fish line you go through this bead, the one the right fish line is going through, as we did previous. So we have it now. Then you pass both fish line through to this bead here. And then we have both fish line in. So we are going to weave to the down part. So you pick 3 beads again, fix 2 on the left fish line, then you cross with the last one using the right fish line. Then you go through the next bead, fix 2 beads on the left, then you cross with the last bead with the same method we started with. But don't worry, you can fix the beads on the right fish line, that is if you are comfortable with it, but I'm comfortable fixing the beads on the left fish line, so you can fix it on the right fish line if you are okay with it. And then you cross to turn the fish line, and we're going to weave to the other end. You go on and pick 3 beads again, fix 2 on the left fish line, then you cross with the third one using the right fish line. So we have a turn complete. Then you go through the next bead and then fix 2 beads on the left fish line, then you cross with the last bead. So you weave to the last but 1 bead here. You weave to the last but 1 bead. So we are on the last but 1 bead, but as you can see our fish line is finished or is short, so we need to pass them through and then fix a new one. So with the new one you go through the last but 1 bead again, and then you fix 2 beads on the left fish line, then you cross with the last bead. So you pick 3 beads, and then you weave down to the last bead with the same method. So anytime you get to the last bead you have to turn, or anytime you get to the last but 1 bead you have to turn, so you can weave to the other end. So we are going to So when you get to the last but 1 bead, this time you have to pass both fish line through to the last but 1 bead on the end again. So we have it there. And then you still pick 3 beads, fix 2 on the left fish line, then you cross with the third one. Then you weave downwards to the last end. So now we are done with the top side and about to weave the down part to make the half side of the butterfly complete. So you now pick 3 beads, fix 1 on each fish line. So you fix 1 on the left fish line, fix 1 on the right fish line, then you cross with the third one. You still pick 3 beads, fix 1 on the left fish line, fix 1 on the right fish line. The same method as we started with. Then you cross with the third one, and then you move on and weave about 5 steps or 5 rings. So when you get to the 5th side, you pick 3 beads. This time you fix 2 on the right fish line, and then you cross with the last one. So you fix on the right fish line, then you cross with the left bead. Then you still pick 3 beads, fix 2 on the right fish line, then you cross with the left fish line using the right fish line. Then you pick 3 beads again, fix 1 on the left fish line, fix 1 on the right fish line, then you cross with the 3rd bead. So you are going to pass the fish line, both fish line, through to the last bead here. So we have both fish line on both beads. Then you pick 2 beads, fix 1 on the left fish line, then you cross with the last bead. So you weave with the same method till you get to the end. So when you get to the end, you go through the next 2 beads here. Then you cross using 1 bead. Then you go through the next bead again. And then you pick 2 beads, fix 1 on the left fish line, and then you cross. And then you weave to the end or to the other side. So our fish line is finished again, and we have to pass it through. So after, with the new fish line, you go through the next 2 beads here. Please watch carefully with the beads I'm going through. Then you weave 1 more step. So after, you pick 3 beads, fix 2 on the right fish line, then you cross with the last one using the left fish line, and cross with the left fish line, so we can turn to weave to the other end. So you weave on till you get to the other end and turn again. So this time, when you get to the last end, we pass both fish line through to the last but 1 bead here, and then you pick 3 beads, fix 2 on the right fish line, then you cross with the left fish line to turn again for us to weave to the last but 1 bead. So this time we are weaving to the last but 1 bead again, and then you turn. Our fish line is short, so we are passing it through to fix a new one. So with the new fish line, you go through the last but 1 bead. So note, this time we are only weaving to the last but 1 bead, and then you weave downwards to the last but 1 bead again, and then you pass the excess fish line through to make your work firm. So we have it done, and then we are done with the half side of the butterfly. So this is one side, and this is the other side, of which I did off camera, and we're about to join it to get the complete side of the butterfly. So with the new fish line, you go through this bead, the last bead here. So we are using this round bead here, and then I have it based on sizes: big, bigger, biggest, small, smaller, smallest. And then we are starting with the smallest one. With the sugar bead, you fix 1, then you go through this bead on the other side of the butterfly, then you cross with the next size of bead, which is a little bigger than the sugar beads. Then with both fish line, you go through the next beads on both sides. Then you cross with one round bead again, so it's the same size as the first one we used. Then you go through, and then you cross with the next round bead. So you go through again, and then you move to the next size, and then weave that one also 3 times. Then you move to the last size, which is the bigger size. So we are going to fix them till we get to the end or to the top side of the butterfly. Then you cross with the last bead. So we are done. And then to make it firm, we are going to pass both fish line through. Make sure you pass it through to the other end. So we have it, and as you can see, it's well fixed in the middle, so nice. And we are going to weave around it, so you can fold it to be a nice butterfly as you want or as you were expecting. But since we want it to be a bag, we have to weave around it. So with the new fish line, you go through this bead here, and then you pick 3 beads. You pick 3 beads, fix 2 on the left fish line, then you cross with the last bead or the 3rd bead. Then you go through the next bead, fix 2 beads on the left fish line again, then you cross with the last one. So with the same method as we started with, this is what we are going to do throughout till we are done weaving the side or the body of the bag. So we need to do something here. This we are not going to weave around it, we need to cross it to get a straight side. So you pick 3 beads, fix 1 bead on each fish line as you can see, then you cross with the 3rd one. So you fix 1 bead on each fish line, then you cross with the 3rd one. So this is how you have it. Then you go through the next bead, then you weave normal. So let me see, we are just blocking the curve we made on each side, then you weave on to the other end. So when you get to the last end, you go through the next bead or the last bead, then you fix 1 bead on the right fish line, then you cross using the left fish line. So we'll be able to turn again to weave 1 more time, so we get 2 steps. So with the same method, you fix 3 beads on the left fish line, then you cross using the right fish line to turn complete, so you can weave on to the other end. So when you are done with the second step, this becomes one side of the butterfly. So this is one side of it, and this is the other side of it, of which I did off camera. So we are now coming to join it together to form the complete bag. So I have more fish line and it's long enough, so I'm going to use it. So you pick 2 beads, fix one on the left fish line, then you go through the next bead on the other side of the butterfly, and then you cross with the last bead, or you cross with 1 bead. Then with both fish line, you go through the next bead on each side. After, you cross with 1 bead. So with this method, anytime you go through the next bead with both fish line on each sides, you cross with 1 bead. So that is all we are doing to join the bag to make it complete. So we are weaving with the same method throughout till you complete the full bag. So we are done now, and as you can see, it's firm and it can stand on its own. Now we are about to make the antenna for the butterfly. So with the new fish line, you pick 15 small beads. So I'm using the small round beads. I think that will fit well. So it's 15. You fix it, and then you leave one out, which is the yellow bead. I'm leaving that one out, and I'm going through all the 14 beads with the other side of the fish line. So let me see, I'm using the right fish line to go through all the 14 beads, as you can see. And after you go through all the 14 beads, you should pull the fish line so it will be firm to get something like this. With both fish line, you go through this bead here. Please watch carefully the bead I'm going through. You go through that bead, and then you make sure it's well fixed the way you want it, and then you pass the fish line through to make it firm. So there we have one side of the antenna, and we are going to repeat the same thing to the other side, and then we have both nicely fixed and firm. So as you can see, it's not falling, they are all standing. So you can make a cover for the bag, or you leave it that way, and with this fish line I'm going to pass it through. So I made this rings here that we are going to fix the handle on. So I already weaved the handle, and I'm just going to fix it on both sides. So after you are done, here is our bag, our butterfly shaped beaded bag. Please give this video a thumbs up if you want to see more and more of my tutorials. Make sure you share and comment as well. Please follow me on Instagram and on Facebook, subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell button so you'll be notified anytime I upload a video. Thank you. See you in my next video. Have a nice day and bye.